Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hazeeq, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Avax. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now let's jump straight into the TA. So taking a look at the daily chart, from the local top we printed in December, we went down approximately 45%, which was a pretty good correction. And then from there we rallied approximately 49% or 50%, and which is also a really good move to the upside, especially if you got into Avax here in January. Because I did give you this support block between $29.77 down to $23.80, and this was a support block that we had, and we just retested that. And you can see previously this was our resistance back in August 2022, and I kept mentioning the August high throughout these Avax videos, and I keep mentioning the August high throughout all of the other altcoins that we cover. But this is a really important level to break, because this is essentially what sent us into this downward spiral, right? We have the capitulation, the move to the upside, and this is where we got rejected. So breaking above this level naturally is going to be a very strong sign that we are breaking out of this bear market, and retesting that very same spot is going to be even more bullish. So the fact that we did both of those things makes me very bullish on Avax. And keep in mind, just a quick reminder, we were talking about Avax down here. Even back in 2021, we were talking about Avax here. And we had a massive rally from there. We were talking about Avax over here. We had a massive rally, but not as big yet. And we are probably going to be breaking above the all-time high, all things considered. So if you entered off of these prices, good for you. Thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for keeping up. You're gonna reap the rewards very soon, especially if you're going to be holding until we get to the actual bull market. Now with this retracement, we have to pay attention to the highs, because if we don't break this resistance level over here, and I can get that onto the charts, if we don't end up breaking this resistance here, sitting at $48.50, that is going to be quite negative, because essentially we're going to be printing a double top pattern. Or if we fail to even retest that resistance and we start retracing somewhere from $43, we're essentially printing a lower high, and that is again not a very good sign. So if both of those scenarios come into play, we're going to have some targets to the downside. And of course the golden block here, or rather the red block between $29.77 down to $23.80, these prices are going to be really good for accumulating, especially if your average prices are way above like $60-$70 from buying up here in 2022. Hopefully you weren't doing that. And also if your average prices are somewhere down here, below $30-$20, it's always good to top up your position and get even more coins, especially if you are staking. Now, the lower we go, the better it is for you, but of course we want to be holding some structure. We don't want to be losing major levels. Of course, if we're going to be dropping down into the red block, there's a high chance we're going to be losing the August high, and that is going to be the first kind of red signal. And then if we start losing this area over here at $22.70, that is going to be another red signal, because this was our support back here. Then we retested this level as resistance multiple times. We broke above it, and now we might come back down for a retest of support. If we fail to do that, and we actually break below that white trend line, then things could be looking a bit worse for Avax. Now in the grand scheme of things, this would also mean that Bitcoin is correcting and the entire altcoin market is going through a dip. So you can be filling up your bags with all of your coins, but this would just prolong this recovery for Avax down the line, because the deeper we drop here, the longer it's going to take for us to recover. But then again, if you're looking to get into Avax at cheaper prices, you should have no issues with Avax dropping below $20. So if we drop below $22.70, which is this white trend line, below the red block, the next major levels are $16 and $17. This block here is going to be your sort of safety pad, because we bounced off of that level multiple times before. We even retested it as resistance, and then we broke above here in November without any back tests of support. So if we have a very strong capitulation, that area there is going to be your golden entry, so to speak. If you manage to buy Avax at $16, then you're doing something right. I do want to switch over to the weekly chart so we can take a look at the long-term picture. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. Taking a look at the weekly now. So we have a Fibonacci retracement set up from the bottom we printed in September 2023 to the all-time high from November 2021. We ran into the golden ratio here, perfectly retesting it, $46.30. And from there, we are obviously retracing back down to the 20 EMA, which is going to be a massive support level for us. So you can target the 20 EMA on the weekly for entries. If we start losing the 20 EMA, the 55 EMA is going to come into play immediately below that, because the 55 EMA is your plan B, so to speak. Then we have the 0.382 Fibonacci level at $24.50. That's going to be another area for you to target. But overall, if you take a look at the chart, this is looking really bullish. We had a massive channel down pattern. Now we're out of it. We broke out. So as long as we keep printing higher highs and higher lows, we should be good to go. So I don't think we're going to be losing this low we printed in October. Even if we drop down to $20, that's still not the end of the world. Like I said, that is going to slow things down for Avax just a bit, but that's not going to cause any major issues. Of course, if we capitulate below the bear market bottom there, that's when that starts being an issue. But of course, for that, we need to have some sort of a black swan event. Something massive has to happen for the entire financial system to collapse, like it did in March 2020. So we covered some of the support levels here. In terms of the resistance levels, if you're looking to swing trade or if you're looking to exit, we have $72, which is a massive resistance level here based on a few touches, and of course based on this 0.786 fib. Then we have the all-time high based on the weekly chart, candle closure at $129. Then you have the 1.272 and the 1.414 fib levels, and those are going to be your massive targets during the bull market. I would say be more conservative. I would not wait for $400 per coin. It is possible, but I wouldn't say that's definitely going to happen. So make sure you have your targets set up. Make sure you're dollar cost averaging your way out of the markets just the way you are dollar cost averaging in, because you do not want to be selling everything at once. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Avax. We want to take a look at the oscillators here just for a quick second. So taking a look at the volume, you take a look at the breakout here from the channel down pattern, and then you take a look at the volume candles. You can see the volume started coming in. So this essentially confirms the breakout. This is not a fake out, because usually when you have a breakout without volume, that means it's essentially a fake out and you're going to end up dropping back down. But with Avax performing so well, it definitely is not a fake out. We got very overextended on the RSI here, as well as on the stochastic. So we want to make sure that these come back down before we start putting in any serious amounts of money. In my opinion, I wouldn't want to, put in my entire bag into Avax right now. at $40 essentially. You can start dollar cost averaging at these prices if you want to, but I would definitely sit on the sidelines for a bit before we jump into Avax, because based on some of the charts that I've seen on Bitcoin and based on some of the analysis and my analysis as well, we're going to be looking at some sort of a correction, some sort of a pullback before we get to the Bitcoin halving. So it's just a matter of patience. There is still time. Granted, not a lot of time, but we still have time to fill up our bags. And, you know, the lower we drop, the more you buy. That's as simple as it gets. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what are your targets for Avax during the bull market. Stay safe and goodbye.